Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Respected elders, brothers, friends, don't want to take much of your time. We promised in the Jummah Bayan to be continued. Part 2 of Jummah Bayan. We were talking in Jummah about ghaflat, negligence. اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون. Hisab kitab is closed, but people are in ghaflat and turning away. إن الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا ورضوا بالحياة الدنيا واطمأنوا بها والذين هم عن آياتنا غافلون. Those who are ghafil and negligent from our signs. يعلمون ظاهرا من الحياة الدنيا وهم عن الآخرة هم غافلون. Some people know only the zahiri hayati dunya, but from akhirat they are ghafil and negligent. Ghaflat. وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. Allah said, do not be from the ghafilin. Ghaflat, heedlessness, negligence. And one of the main reasons of ghaflat, negligence, heedlessness, not paying attention, ghafil रहना, main reason, बड़ा सबब इसका आजकल के ज़माने में मोबाइल फोन. ये स्मार्टफोन जब से आया है मुसीबत कर दी है इसने. ये सब कुछ खा गया है. टेलीफोन खा गया, अलार्म क्लॉक खा गया, डायरी खा गया, कैमरा खा गया, पता नहीं क्या क्या खा गया. ये सब इसने खाली हजम कर दिया. इसका पेट भरता ही नहीं, अभी खाए जा. पता नहीं क्या क्या खाएगा ये. हमारी पूरी जिंदगी खा गया. It's consumed our whole life. Everything is gone. So, one of the main reasons of ghaflat is the mobile phone and its addiction. What's happening today is that in the same way people get addicted to drugs, some people get addicted to alcohol, and there are many other addictions. Some people get addicted to porn. So in this way, most of us are addicted to the mobile phone. Young or old, boys or girls, men or women, awam or khawas, general public or ulama and huffaz, tell you the truth, we are all addicted to it. We're always on the phone. We can't spend half an hour without touching the phone. The last thing we do before going to sleep is check our phone. The first thing we do when we wake up is check our phone. Many people go to sleep with the earpieces in their ears, listening to songs or whatever, and they don't get proper sleep either, and this is affecting their health. Many don't even eat properly, drink properly. They're so much addicted to the phone. Young boys' addiction is with games. Latest games craze. As games come and go, they want the latest game. Whether it is Pokemon Go, whether it is Fortnite, and before it was Sin City, Grand Theft Auto, FIFA. This is addiction. And once kids start playing this, they're gone. When Pokemon came and people were looking for Pokemons, running around here and there and finding, they were running sometimes in the middle of the night here and there, falling over, tripping into water, falling in the river. One young girl was looking for something and she came across a dead body. She didn't know that she's walking over the dead body. She had to call the police. This is the amount of ghaflat kids are falling into through the games. Before they had games on the Nokia phone, snakes and ladders. You have to remove the snake here and there. That was 2G, 2D, two-dimensional, length and width. And then games came three-dimensional, where you have someone looks like a human being and you play with them. And then in the shooting games, there was points when you shoot the other person. But then came games in which you have to shoot on the brains and to blow the brains out. Fortnite. You have to land on an island like Barbados and you have to win and kill everyone there. Blow their brains out. Now, I remember Maulana Ibrahim Sahib called me over for a bayan on Fortnite. And I was doing my research and I came to know that this person used to come home from work at 5 o'clock and have his tea and dinner and something and start playing Fortnite game at 6 o'clock right until 12 o'clock midnight, 6 hours. He stopped going to the masjid, then he stopped praying namaz, then he was constantly arguing with his wife. He wasn't paying attention to them. He had friends on Fortnite and they would all be there and it's so addictive. You just can't get your hands off it. And they make these games so fast that you just have to keep on it. You're hooked to it. You can't get your eyes off it. So he would just play right until 12 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock. And then in the morning he would have to wake up to go to work. He would struggle. Sometimes he would lie to his workplace and take the day off. Slowly his wife got fed up. She filed for divorce and he lost his wife and his kids. And then he lost his job as well. All because of mobile addiction to the Fortnite game. This is just one case scenario. There must have been many cases like this. So kids' addiction is with games. And elders, their addiction is with these games like Fortnite. It's surprising to see sometimes oldies playing games on the mobile. Sometimes we see them on the plane, on the flight. Old Buddhas, they're playing games like small kids. That you would like, how is this old man playing this game? It's a kid's game. But they're just addicted to it. They don't know what to do. So they just play games. Then there is another type of addiction for the grown-ups. And that is with the social media. WhatsApp, message after message after message after message. And that causes frictions, fights. Young couple, newlyweds, go to Malaysia for holidays. Now, when they reach there, she gets the Wi-Fi and opens her phone, messages, and she starts replying. And the young man says, Mukni never phone ne lene bhej. No, it's rude, I've got so many messages, I have to answer them all. હવે પછી મેસેજ આન્સર ખરા કરજે નહીં. You can reply later. No, it's rude. They'll know, they'll double think, they'll see that I've seen the message, and if I don't reply, it's no good. I have to reply. And message after message and message after message, and she's there for hours. પેલો બીખી જોઈ that તારી બેન ની આપણે મુસીબત ગરબડ સરબડ fight. The WhatsApp messages always on there. Ladies, not fulfilling their housework. घर में काम नहीं करती हैं बराबर, बच्चों की निगरानी नहीं करती. And then those young girls who are not married yet, they go on Snapchat, Instagram. And what is this? Riyakari, showing off, makkari. If that girl was to walk on the street, few people would see her. But when she displays her beauty, her beautiful hair and face on the Snapchat and Instagram, millions of people around the world see her. So there is more behijabi on there than on the street. Girls do that. They put their photos on it. Niqabi girls take off their niqab and put their photo on Instagram, Snapchat. So there's sin after sin in this addiction. TikTok is eating your time because it's like that clock. Ting, 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 ting. So TikTok eats your time. Doesn't let you do anything. I'm not on TikTok, tell you the truth. I don't know how to go on it. My friends created TikTok channel. I said, you look after it. I am fed up with it. I can't keep up with my Facebook account, Twitter account, Facebook pages है, बयान वगैरह कुछ रख देते हैं, जिसको सुनना हो सुने. मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है उसमें इतना जाने का. ये व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस हैं, यही कितना टाइम खा जाते हैं. लेकिन इसमें काम आज लोग सवाल पूछते हैं, ये वो मसला होता है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता है, देखना पड़ता है उसको. So one of the greatest sources of ghaflat, asbabul ghaflat, is the mobile phone. There are other asbabul ghaflat as well. For example, ta'ayyush, luxurious life, having too much money when you don't know what to do with it. So you buy things which you don't need, and then you waste your money. And that luxury distracts you from your duty with regards to akhirat, with regards to your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your connection with your Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam by way of reading the Sharif, following his sunnah, your connection with your ulama kiram. Because when a person is wealthy, he feels that he's alright, he doesn't need anyone. He gets into tughyan, rebellion. Kalla innal insana la yatgha an ra'ahu istaghna inna ila rabbika ruj'a. When a person sees himself ghani and rich, he becomes taghi, baghi, taghi, tughyan, rebellious nature. So sometimes wealth can bring this tughyan, and it can result in ghaflat, heedlessness, negligence. There will be other asbab as well. Hawa, nafsi, following whimsical desires. As we mentioned, the hadith in Jummah talk, إن أخوف ما أخاف على أمتي الهوى وطول الأمل فأما الهوى فيصد عن الحق وأما طول الأمل فينسي الآخرة. Among the greatest fears I have upon my ummah are two. One is hawa nafsi, following the hawa. Wherever the nafs leads you, you follow that lead. You are under the control of your nafs. Your nafs is not in your control. That is hawa. Today, we have various types of hawa. Zina, sharab, liwaqat, drugs. Then this feeling that I am the owner of my body. I can be whoever I like, whatever I like. I can change my gender the way I want. Nobody can tell me what to do. Okay, you want to behave that way? It's up to you. But we here in these four corners, four walls of the masjid are all Muslims. We submit ourselves to Allah. We are bound by the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set certain limits. We cannot cross those limits. We have to stay within those limits. Other people can do whatever they like. It's up to them, it's their life. Freedom of choice, okay, you can stay the way you want. But we have certain boundaries which we can't cross. People try to cross those boundaries. This is called hawa. Following your hawa. I feel like that. It's my feelings. Tarimani feelings. Feelings ki aisi taisi. Should your feelings be under your control? Or should you be under the control of your feelings? If you let your feelings control you, you don't know where you're going to end up. Tomorrow you're going to say, I feel attraction towards minors. That's pedophilia. And there are people in the US who are trying to legalize pedophilia. They say, well, it's his feelings. If he feels that way, that's all right. And then you're going to legalize incest. Incest. Brother and sister relationship and marriage. Incest. Where is it going to end up? Then you're going to legalize infanticide as well. There are people in Thailand who still kill young newborn babies, which Prophet ﷺ came to eradicate. They're still doing it. Even grown-up children, they bury them alive. They say, well, we are doing this because of this and that, and we feel it this way. We feel that she is possessed by some ghost and she needs to be finished off. We kill her. If you let your feelings take control of you, there's no limit to it. We are not controlled by our feelings. Our feelings should be controlled by us. There are two enemies, our Allah and our Rasul tell us. One is shaitan, the other is our nafs. We have to fight both enemies. We can't let shaitan get the better of us. We can't let our nafs get the better of us. Today, people are succumbing and falling in front of their hawa, desires, carnal desires. So, what should we do now? How can we control our feelings? How can we remove our ghaflat and negligence? How can we remove this addiction from us? When you go to a hakim or a doctor, he checks you out first. That's called tashkhis. And then he gives you a prescription that's called tajweez. And then it's up to you to take that medication. If you take it regularly according to the instructions, it is hoped that you will get better. But if you don't take that medication, you won't get better. Correct? So, this is for our physical illness. Same is the case for our spiritual illness. Our ruh becomes sick. Nafs is overpowering our ruh. Ruh is the name of the good side and nafs is the name of the bad side. So the nafs always likes bad things. It wants us to do bad things. And this is why Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in a hadith, "A'da aduwika nafsuka allati bayna jambayka." Your worst enemy is your ego, which is between your two rib cages. That's your worst enemy. It's worse than shaitan as well. You can repel shaitan, turn him away by one a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, one la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. But how are you going to repel your nafs? It's always there with you. This is why one shair said, "Tawaqqa nafsak, la ta'man ghawailaha, فالنفس أخبث من 70 شيطانا." Be very careful of your nafs. Never feel safe from its perils and attacks. Because the nafs is more khabith and wretched than 70 shaitans. 70 shaitans cannot harm you as much as your nafs and ego can harm you. So, we have to bring our nafs under control. We have done the tashkhis that the cause of our spiritual disease and spiritual sickness and our ghaflat and our heedlessness and our negligence is our nafs, which tells us to do things, and the asbab and the tools the nafs and shaitan use are many. Among the greatest sabab of this 21st century is the smartphone. Now, we will give you some tajweez, prescription to protect yourself. The first prescription is mentioned in the ayat of Surah Al-A'raf towards the end. I read وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ, but read what is before that. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا وَخِيفَةً وَدُونَ الْجَهْرِ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. Zikrullah. Zikr. Do zikr of your Rabb. Remember your Rabb in your nafs, in your heart. تَضَرُّعًا وَخِيفَةً, by pleading and with khawf and fear. Fear Allah. Plead to Allah. Oh Allah, please, oh Allah. Cry in front of Allah. The other day I read this beautiful hadith. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, I'm going to read in front of you the surah Alhaakumut Takathur Hatta Zurtumul Maqabir Kalla Sawfa Ta'lamun Thumma Kalla Sawfa Ta'lamun Kalla Law Ta'lamuna Ilma Al-Yaqeen لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. Beautiful surah. I'm going to read this surah to you. Whoever among you cries Dakhala al-Jannah, will go in Jannah. So he read the surah out, and only some Sahaba cried. The others couldn't cry. So he said again, I'm going to read Surah Al-Takathur to you. Whoever cries will enter Jannah. If you can't cry, then pretend to be crying and you will enter Jannah. Make your face like a person who's crying. Attempt to cry. Make an attempt to cry. Try to cry. And you will go in Jannah. And he read it again. And those who could cry, cried. And those who couldn't, they tried their best to cry. Alhaakumut takathur. Increasing your wealth in kathrat has made you negligent, has distracted you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Paisa, paisa, paisa. Money, money, money. It's so funny in a rich man's world. Everybody likes money. But don't let your wealth distract you and turn you away from Allah. This keeps on happening, continues to happen, hatta zurtumul maqabir, until you visit Qabristan. Visiting Qabristan means death. Until you die. يقول ابن آدم مالي مالي وهل لك يا ابن آدم إلا ما أكلت فأفنيت أو لبست فأبليت أو تصدقت فأمضيت. لو كان لابن آدم واديا من ذهب لتمنى أن يكون له واديان ولو كان له واديان لابتغى ثالثا ولا يملأ جوف ابن آدم إلا التراب حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلم. हरगिज नहीं, अभी पता चल जाएगा. You'll soon find out. ثم كلا سوف تعلمون. You'll soon find out. كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين. Nay, if you only were to know the knowledge of yaqeen and certainty, ilmul yaqeen तुमको हासिल हो जाए. لترون الجحيم. जहीम भड़कती हुई आग, blazing fire, अपनी आंखों से देखना पड़ेगा. It will be right in front of your eyes. ثم لترونها عين اليقين. You will see it with ainul yaqeen, with your eyes right in front of you. ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. Remember, on that day, when you see that fire right in front of you, you will be questioned about your luxuries, your luxurious life. So in this verse, Allah said, وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا وَخِيفَةً. With tadarru', girgirana, pleading, plead to Allah. Oh Allah, please, oh Allah, please. You know, my Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahib Nawarullah Mulqadahu, Abarrada Masjahu, explained the meaning of tadarru'. He said, वो जब आइसक्रीम वाला बाहर आता है, उसकी घंटी बजती है, टिंग टोंग टिंग टोंग टिंग टोंग टिंग टोंग, आइसक्रीम आ गई, तो बच्चा माँ के पास आता है, मम्मी पैसा देनी है, आइसक्रीम लेनी है. मम्मी कहती नहीं पैसे, जाए यहाँ से, there's no money. So no, I want ice cream. Mommy said, there's ice cream in the freezer, eat it from the freezer. No, mommy, I want ice cream from the ice cream. When he starts crying and he gets told of the farak, his clothes, mommy, please, mommy, please, money, mommy, please give me some money, I want to buy ice cream. So mommy goes, how did that? Ja, here, maatu khaya kare. Hazrat said, this is pleading. This is tadarru'. खुदा के सामने भी ऐसे ही गिरगिराने की जरूरत. रो अल्लाह का, नो अल्लाह प्लीज यू हैव टू गिव मी दिस, नो अल्लाह प्लीज यू हैव टू डू दिस फॉर मी. जिक्रुल्लाह करो गिरगिराते हुए, रोते हुए. हजरत हाजी इमदादुल्लाह मुहाजिर मक्की रहमतुल्लाह अलैह used to say, when you do zikr, and you take Allah's name, Allah, 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 you should have that show and yearning for Allah. Don't just do zikr with lip service. Do zikr from the bottom of your heart with crying. Try to bring some tears in your eyes. Realize that you're missing out on something. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have that realization and you do zikr with that istihzar, dhyan, then see how it affects your heart. It gets rid of that ghaflat and negligence. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا وَخِيفَةً وَدُونَ الْجَهْرِ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ. Don't just do it now and then. Do zikr of Allah bil-ghuduwi wal-asal. Morning and evening, continuous. कुछ लोग कहते हैं ये क्या यार रोज रोज जिक्र करना है? तो भाई खाने के लिए ऐसा क्यों नहीं कहते ये क्या यार रोज रोज खाना? खाना तो बहुत खाते हैं. सुबह नाश्ता, दोपहर को खाना, 4 बजे चाय, शाम को मगरिब बाद फर्स्ट क्लास डिनर. तो उसके लिए तो नहीं बोलते कि ये क्या वो इतना खाना. तो जिक्र जो है वो भी तो खाना है. Zikr is the food of your ruh. This is why bil ghuduwi wal asal, subuh sham, morning and evening, morning and evening, morning and evening, continuous zikr is needed. This will remove the ghaflat from the heart. Zikrullah. If you have mobile addiction, get bayat to a Shaykh. Start doing zikr morning and evening. Inshallah, your addiction will go. Allah will cure you. Number 2, in the ayat, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. Allah mentions the reason there. That people realize the zahir of hayati dunya, but from akhirat they are ghafil. So what you need to do is turn away from the zahir of hayati dunya and turn towards akhirat. Yearn towards akhirat. Remember your akhirat. Remember your life after death. No, realize that I'm not here forever. I'm only here for a short period. 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that's our life. After that we're going to die. Kullu nafsin zaiqatul maut. Har shakhs ne maut ka maza chakna hai. So remember your death, life after death. And don't fall for this dunya. Don't think that this dunya is everything. People think that this mal, dunya, daulat, house, luxurious car, money, that's everything. No, my dear brothers and sisters, it's just a dream. A dream. You wake up from that dream when you go to your qabr. That's when you wake up from this dream. And you get to reality. That's the reality. I read this book called Sufism. And I read this in there about dunya, reality of dunya. And he said that, this man, he once went to the public bath. Now there's cubicles. So the cubicles were full and there was a large slab, stone in the middle. So whilst waiting for that, for his turn, he lied down. He was very tired. He fell asleep. And he saw a dream. And in that dream he sees that similar cubicles are there. And someone came in a limousine. And the chauffeur, the driver got out, opened the back door. And the person came out of that limousine. Now when he came to those bath cubicles, the dreamer realized that he is his carbon copy, his twin brother, his lookalike. So he's surprised that, this is my lookalike, this is exactly me. Now he went in one of the cubicles and he had some seizure and he attacked, epileptic attack, and he fell, fainted. Nobody else was there. So he thought, yeah, I took a chance. He pulled him into the cubicle. He took his clothes off and put them clothes on. Now because he is look-alike, so he looks exactly like that person. The chauffeur is waiting down there near the limousine. So he washes himself properly, he puts the other person's clothes on, and then he comes to the limousine and the chauffeur opens it for him. He thinks he's his boss. So he sits inside the limousine and he drives it to his home, and he goes and sees a beautiful mansion, large, massive garden, swimming pool. And he enters the house and there's the beautiful wife, and she thinks it's my husband. So she says, you know that our old home we sold for $500,000? Well, that deal's gone through and the check has arrived and we have to deposit it in our account. And he says, oh, much £500,000 bhi aa gaya. You know, mansion, beautiful wife, limousine, £500,000, and he's dreaming all that. In the meantime, the caretaker of that bath area kicks him on his backside. Hey, what? Kerno hotel se uttonni. He get up, he's been sleeping here for so long. So he realized, oh, my whole dream's gone. It's all collapsed, my $500,000's gone, my mansion's gone. My dear brothers, this is the reality of life. Everything is going to go. When Malakul Maut kicks us on our backside, takes our ruh out, chalo yahan se, finish. Everything is gone. Nothing is going to go with you. So, second ilaj of ghaflat is, don't fall for the dunya, remember your akhirat. And this is mentioned in another hadith as well. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إن القلوب تصدأ كما يصدأ الحديد إذا أصابه الماء وإن جلاءها كثرة ذكر الموت وتلاوة القرآن. Indeed, the hearts get rusted just as metal gets rusted if water keeps dripping on it. Tip, 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 tip. After a few weeks or months, that fire escape outside or that metal will get rusted. There will be a hole in there, rust on. You have to treat it if you can. If it's not treatable, you have to chop it, cut it off, put another piece of metal on there. Similarly, when sins keep dropping on the heart, tip, 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 sin after sin after sin after sin, then the heart get rusted. And the treatment and cleansing of the heart is through two things mentioned here. Number one, kasratu dhikril maut, excessive remembrance of death. And number two, wa tilawatul Quran, tilawat of Quran Sharif. The first ilaj we said was zikrullah. Second we said was, don't pay attention to zahiri dunya, pay attention to akhirat. And the third is, remember your death as much as possible. Today we don't remember our death. We think we're going to live forever. And suddenly death comes. So we have to remember that, I'm going to die one day. It's so important that Allah reminds us three places in Quran, in 4th Sipara, in 17th Sipara, in the 21st Sipara Juz. Allah said, Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut, Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut, Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. In Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah said, Kullu man alayha fan, wa yabqa wajhu rabbika zul jalali wal ikram. In Surah Al-Qasas, Allah said, Kullu shay'in halikun illa wajha, lahul hukmu wa ilayhi turja'un. Allah is telling us, you're going to, this dunya is fana on this dunya. Remember your fana'iyat, your death. If you keep remembering your death, your mobile addiction will go. You'll no longer be addicted to your mobile. You'll only use it for good purposes. You won't have games on it. I have grandkids. They take their mom's phone, dad's phones, but they never take my phone because there's no games on there. Even if they take it, they're disappointed, they give it back to me. I don't keep games on my phone. चाहिए ही नहीं गेम्स. तो इसको use it for good purposes, दीन की खिदमत के लिए. लेकिन other than that, don't use it for other purposes. Remember your death. एक दिन मरना है, आखिर मौत है, कर ले जो करना है, आखिर मौत है. And the other prescription is Tilawatul Quran, Quran Sharif Tilawat. Ramadan is around the corner. We're going through the month of Shaban. 5 Shaban ho gayi, abhi Shab Barat aa rahe, 15 Shaban. Days are moving really fast. We have to get into the system of Tilawat Quran. Hafiz, non-Hafiz, we all must read Quran Sharif. We have to make a habit of reading a certain amount of Quran every day. If we have that habit now, then inshallah when Ramzan starts, we will be in that system, we will have that habit, and we will continue to read the Quran Sharif, and we will increase our reading of Quran Sharif. We will read it more and more inshallah. But if we are not into the system, then Ramzan starts and we will be just, struggling. Our minds will be boggled. And 2-3 days you might do a little bit and then you will be worn out and you will stop reading. Or you will reduce your amount. But if you keep reading from now, then when Ramzan comes, you'll increase it and you'll keep on increasing. You'll stay on one routine. So start reading Quran Sharif now. Think about those Salafi Salihin who used to read Quran Sharif a lot. Salafi Salihin used to read Quran a lot. Our Hazrat Shaykh Zakaria Nawallahu Barqadahu used to read Quran Sharif a lot. People say the reason he had barakat in his time and he wrote so many books was Quran Sharif Tilawat. Once Hazrat went on a safar from Saharanpur to another place, which was far away, a few hours journey. During that journey, Hazrat kept on reading Quran, and by the time he got there, he had read 36 juz of Quran Sharif. Throughout the whole journey, Hazrat was reading Quran Sharif. Similar with other Mashayikh. Our Hazrat, Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahib Nawallahu Barqadahu used to keep Laylatul Noor. And our friends mentioned that in that room once Laylatul Noor, Hazrat sat in one corner, he started from Alif Lam Mim, he just kept on reading silently, quietly, and within just over 3.5 hours or something, Hazrat read the whole Quran Sharif. Whole Quran Sharif. Hazrat was a very swift reciter. He just sat in one corner. He wasn't talking to anyone. He wasn't looking at anyone. He was busy in his tilawat. Within 3.5 hours or so, he read the whole Quran Sharif. Fat. When you get into the habit, you can do it. Imam Shafi Rahmatullah, you've heard of him. He used to do one khatam in the day and one khatam in the night in Ramadan. How could he do it? Because he used to read very fast. Imam Ibn Rajab Hanbali Rahmatullah said that the reading slowly is when one wants to understand and contemplate on the meanings of Quran. But during awqat-e fadilah like Ramadan, one should read as much as possible, and even if he does khatam in less than 3 days, then there's no harm in there. It's not against the hadith. Huzur used to read lots of Quran. In one rakat he read over 6 juz. Huzaifa was behind him, my legs started hurting. So he used to read a lot of Quran. Sahaba, many of them used to do one khatam in one rakat, like Usman Ghani radiyallahu anhu, Tamim Dari radiyallahu anhu. Among Tabi'in, Sa'id ibn Jubair rahmatullahi alayhi, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi. Imam Nawawi said in Tahdhibul Asma'i wal Lughat that these 4 personalities, it is commonly known regarding them that many times they would read the whole Quran in one rakat. One night, one rakat. After Isha, they would start one rakat, Alif Lam Mim, they would only finish when they read Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas malikin nas. So they used to read the Quran a lot, get into the system. Quran will remove your ghaflat and negligence. The more you read, the better for you, the more your ghaflat will go. And number 5, read some nice books. Make a habit of reading books. Right? I have a friend, Norman, he doesn't give mobile phone to his kids. They're grown up. You know, one of his eldest started secondary school. So first day when he went to school and he went out at playtime, all the kids in the playground were on their smartphones except for him. He didn't know what to do. There was nobody to play with, nobody playing in the playground, everybody's on their smartphone. So bichara, he was bored. When he came home, he said, Abba, everybody had a smartphone except me. I didn't know what to do. So his dad said, you should have gone to the library and read some books. And he said, I asked the teacher, but they said the library is undergoing some construction work. So I couldn't go to the library either. You see, all the kids, 11-year-old, secondary school, but they have their own smartphones and they're playing with phones. But his son, he's very fond of reading. Noman took my Surah Fatiha kitab, tafsir of Surah Fatiha, gave it to him. And he read the whole kitab in one day. Because he loves reading. So he brings in books after books and says, read these books. Our children should be taught to read books. Every house should have Fazail-e A'mal of Hazrat Shaykh, Fazail-e Sadaqat of Hazrat Shaykh. Do ta'aleem of Fazail-e Sadaqat in your home. Fazail-e Sadaqat is a beautiful book. It will change your life. It got so many stories of Zahideen at the end. 70 stories of Zahideen. Those who had zuhd in them, ascetic people. This will bring in you zuhd and remove the negligence. I think I've taken too much of your time, so I have to finish now. We started off with ghaflat and its asbab. One more point I want to say is, if we don't cure this disease of ghaflat and negligence, and we keep dragging it on, then this ghaflat leads to something called qasawat. Qasawat-e-qalbiyya means hardening of the heart. The hearts become really, really hard like rock. Which Allah said, ثُمَّ قَسَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ فَهِيَ كَالْحِجَارَةِ أَوْ أَشَدُّ قَسْوَةً. And then, this could result into, this qasawat could lead to, na'uzu billah, kufr and shirk, irtidad and apostasy. When you don't remember Allah, you don't pray a single namaz, You keep on watching movies. You're always on the smartphone. You're watching dirty and filthy stuff. And you're committing sin after sin after sin after sin. Then the sins cover your heart. Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. The rain comes on the heart. The heart is surrounded by that foggy patches, the darkness. You know, our Prophet ﷺ was ajib. He explained that when a person sins, a black dot is formed on the heart. If he repents or if she repents, that dot is removed. If they don't repent, it remains there. Then another sin, and another sin, and another sin. And the heart becomes pitch black. And just as you can't see anything in a dark night, the heart cannot see the haqq and the batil, the truth and the false, the reality and the fake. And it just confused, and in that confusion, it does whatever it wants. This is the rain which Allah has mentioned there. So, if you fall into ghaflat after ghaflat, and you turn away from Allah with i'raz, and then you get into qasawat, it could lead to kufr. This is why, my dear brothers, this day and age, we see and we hear many youngsters leaving their religion. I am no longer Muslim. I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Allah. I don't believe in Prophet. Oh, bapre bap, toba toba toba, na'uz billah. Young Muslim boys, girls saying this type of stuff. Because of that life of ghaflat and heedlessness and negligence. This is what causes this and results in this. May Allah protect you, your children. MashaAllah, Barbados Mahal is to a certain degree praiseworthy. Today I prayed Jummah Namaz in Makki Masjid. Something good I noticed was, MashaAllah, the whole masjid was praying sunnats after the Jummah Namaz. This is something very good. Keep it up. Hold on to the sunnats. In our country, many people just flee after Jummah Namaz. Salaam alaikum, hey, last in, first out. As though they had some burden on their shoulder and they wanted to get rid of that burden. They came in last, never prayed the sunnat before, and first out, no sunnat after Jummah. May Allah give guidance to such people. MashaAllah, you people in Barbados, you are good, you hold on to the sunnah. Hold on to the sunnah. Pray your namaz properly. Pray your 5-time namaz properly. Your 5-time namaz will protect you from ghaflat. It will protect you from negligence, from heedlessness, from qasawat, from turning away from your deen. So, we mentioned that we have to realize that I have an addiction problem. I'm falling into too much ghaflat. I'm being too much negligent. I'm not fulfilling my duties. I need to cure this disease. How can I cure it? Number one, start doing zikr of Allah. Get bayat to some Shaykh. Stay close to them and do Allah's zikr. And number two, give up the luxuries of the dunya and turn towards akhirat. Read the story of the son of Harun Rashid, 22-year-old young man. He's a prince. He's got everything under his, control. But he used to sit with the ulama, sulaha, mashayikh, and he used to learn from them. He used to wear simple clothes. So some of the parliamentarians said to Harun Rashid, this boy of yours, he wears these types of tatty clothes. He comes into the Darbar Parliament. He's disgracing you in front of the dignitaries who come here. Tell him to wear some nice clothes. So Harun Rashid called him over. Beta, these people are saying you make me zaleel and disgraced in front of all the dignitaries and big people who come here. Wear some nice clothes. He listened to what his father had to say. And then there was a bird on a tree. So he pointed towards the bird, and the bird came flying and sat on his hand. And then he pointed it to go away, and the bird flew away. And then he said, Abba, in reality, it's you and your position and your kingdom which has disgraced me. I have been thinking over it for some time, but now I have decided that finally I'm going to leave all this. I can't stay like this. I'm going away from here. So he left. Harun Rashid felt it, but he said, no, I'm going. Harun Rashid also is 22-year-old, can't do anything. He told his wife to give him this nice ring. Perhaps he might be able to use it when he needs it. He took it away. He went from Baghdad to Basra. And in Basra, long story, he used to do some labor work and earn his daily bread by his hard work. And he used to work only once a week. And baki 6 days, he would spend in ibadat and worship. Abu Amir Basri happened to take him for work, told him to construct this wall. And he said 2 conditions. Number 1, when it's azan, namaz time, I'll stop my work, I'll go to the masjid, pray my namaz, then come back to work. Okay. Number 2, I will only take 1 daniq as my wages, not more than that. Okay. When Abu Amir came back in the evening, he saw that this one boy had done the work of 10 men, grown-up, strong men. So he said, wow, you did so much work today. I'm going to give you 2 daniqs. He said, no. 1 daniq is all I'll take. He took that away. Next day he went to look for him, couldn't find him. He waited for 1 week. And this time he saw secretly how he was doing. And he realized that, he was just putting the cement on and the bricks were going on the wall and joining themselves and leveling themselves. Meaning he was being helped by the malaika. The malaika were putting the bricks there and leveling it. He was just putting the cement on there and he was reading Quran Sharif and doing zikr whilst he's working. That's why one person did the work of 10 men. Wow. This time he tried to give him 6 daniqs. He said, no, my sharat, I'll only take 1 daniq. And he left. The 3rd week, there was a little bit of left to complete. He went to look for him, he couldn't find him. He asked people and they said that, oh, that young man, yeah, he's in that jungle over there. He stays alone over there. So he went to look for him. But he was lying down and he was not so well. And he had a brick under his head. So Abu Amir rushed and took that brick away and put his head in his lap. So he opened his eyes and he said, Abu Amir, put my head back on the brick. No. My lap is more restful for you. So he said, Abu Amir, thank you very much for coming. It looks like these are my last moments. I'm going to give you some wasi. Please, will you do that for me? So, okay, tell me, what do I need to do? He said that, when I die, don't buy any new clothes for me. These 2 old chadar of mine, give me kafan in these chadars. And this lota, give it to the person who digs my grave. And this Quran Sharif and this ring, take it to Harun Rashid and tell him that your son has returned this amanat to you, and don't remain in this state of ghaflat and negligence, and don't let your death approach you while you are still in this ghaflat in your kingdom. Suddenly the angels will come and take you away, rectify your condition before the death comes and Malakul Maut arrives. So he said, only then that I realized that, oh Baba, he was a prince. He's the king, son of the king. He died and I acted according to his instructions. I took him away, I did his ghusl, I buried him in his clothes. And then I traveled to Baghdad and Amirul Mu'mineen Harun Rashid, he was coming out for his parade. So I sat there waiting. When he did come out in the last batch of those soldiers, I said, Amirul Mu'mineen, I have some of your amanat I need to return to you and I need to talk to you. So Amirul Mu'mineen called him closer. What? And he looked at the Quran Sharif and the ring and he understood. And he said, all right. He told them, take him away. When I return, I'll talk to him. When Amirul Mu'mineen Harun Rashid came back, the attendant came to call him. He said, who are you? What have you said? The Amirul Mu'mineen is really sad. He's in here with great grief. If you're going to say 10 things, don't say 10, just say 5. Make sure you watch what you say. He said, all right. So Amirul Mu'mineen Harun Rashid called him alone, seclusion, and then he said, yes, what news have you brought me? He said, this young man sent this for you. So he said, what did he used to do? He used to do labor work. Did you take some labor work from him? Yes, I did as well. Well, do you not know that we are from the family of the Prophet ﷺ? We are the descendants of Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, Huzur's uncle. Amirul Mu'mineen, I didn't know that he is your son. He never disclosed himself. I thought he is just a common person. So Amirul Mu'mineen took hold of his Abu Amir's hands, kissed them, and then he started crying. And he said, this son of mine was really pious. He was born before I became a king. And he was so pious. I admired his piety and really felt it when he left. But what has happened, he's gone. And he said, I told his mother to give him that ring when he left. He took nothing from this dunya which I have. Oh Allah, have mercy on me. Give me tawfiq to behave properly and do the right stuff. So, this story is mentioned in Fadail Sadqat by Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah. Read these stories. They will soften your heart. And read some nice books. Give your children these books to read. And they will affect your children and they will make them pious as well. So these are a few tajweez, ilaj, cure, which we have put forward to you. Now it's your duty to take that medication, practice on it. May Allah give us all the tawfiq to do zikr of Allah, to understand that this life is temporary, to remember our akhirah, to remember our death, to do some tilawat of Quran Sharif, to read some nice books, to stay close and attached to our ulama, sulaha, mashayikh, good people, to respect them, revere them, to learn from them. If we do this, then we will remain steadfast on our deen. Otherwise, we could lose our deen as well. So, we started off with the negligence, ghaflat, mobile addiction. I hope I've been able to say what should be said. May Allah accept. May Allah be pleased with us. Jazakallah for giving me the opportunity and the time to sit here among you. May Allah benefit us all. Jazakallah to Maulana Siraj Sahab, to Imam Sahab, and everyone. Read Durood Sharif and make short dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الغفلة والقسوة والعيلة والذلة والمسكنة والعجز والكسل والجبن والبخل والهرم. ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. ونعوذ بك من فتنة الدنيا ومن فتنة النساء. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نرد على أعقابنا أو أن نفتن عن ديننا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من زوال نعمتك وتحول عافيتك وفجاءة نقمتك وجميع سخطك. اللهم لا تؤمنا مكرك ولا تنسنا ذكرك ولا تهتك عنا سترك ولا تجعلنا من الغافلين ولا تجعلنا من الغافلين ولا تجعلنا من الغافلين. या अरहमर राहिमीन, मुहाज़ अपने फ़ज़ल व करम से हम सब की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत पर रहम फरमा दीजिए, करम फरमा दीजिए, उम्मत की कमज़ोरियों पे पर्दा ढाँक दीजिए, उम्मत के साथ सत्तारी और गफ़ारी का मुआमला फरमाइए, आफ़ू और सफ़ा और आफ़ियत का मुआमला फरमाइए। परवरदिगार आलम, उम्मत जहाँ जहाँ परेशान है उनकी परेशानियाँ ख़त्म फरमाइए। या अल्लाह, ख़ास तौर पर अहले शाम और अहले तुर्किया और अहले फ़लस्तीन पर रहम फरमाइए। या अल्लाह, ज़ालिमों के हक़ में हिदायत तो नसीब फरमाइए। نہیں تو ان کے مظالم سے امت کی حفاظت فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ شام کے مسلمانوں پر خاص رحم فرمائیے، اہل حق اور اہل سنت کو غلبہ نصیب فرمائیے۔ زلزلہ میں جو مسلمان شہید ہوئے اللہ سب کی مغفرت فرمائیے۔ 50-60 ہزار مسلمان شہید ہو گئے، اللہ سب کی مغفرت فرمائیے، اللہ سب کی مغفرت فرمائیے، سب کے درجات بلند فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ ان کے پیچھے جو پسماندگاں ہیں ان کو صبر جمیل عطا فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ بیچاروں کے قلوب پر صبر اور سکینہ نازل فرمائیے۔ چھوٹے چھوٹے معصوم یتیم بچے رہ گئے، ان پر رحم فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ ان کے آنسو ہم سے نہیں دیکھے جاتے، پروردگار عالم ان بیچاروں پر رحم فرمائیے۔ ہمارے گناہوں کی سزا ان کو نہ دیجیے، یا اللہ ہمارے گناہوں کی سزا ان کو نہ دیجیے۔ ہم بہت گنہگار ہیں، بہت خطا کار ہیں، بہت سیاہ کار ہیں، بہت غفلت میں پڑے ہوئے ہیں، زندگی برباد کر دی ہے، آپ سے دور رہ کر ہم نے اپنا بہت نقصان کیا ہے، ہمیں معاف کر دیجیے، معاف کر دیجیے۔ گناہوں سے بچائیے، شیطان کے شر سے بچائیے، نفس کے شر سے بچائیے، ہوا پرستی سے بچائیے، موبائل کے شر سے بچائیے، سوشل میڈیا کے شر سے بچائیے، ٹائم ویسٹ کرنے سے حفاظت فرمائیے، موبائل ایڈکشن سے حفاظت فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ ہمیں یا اللہ موت کو یاد رکھنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، آخرت کو یاد کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، ذکر کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، تلاوت کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، 5 وقت کی نماز کا اہتمام نصیب فرمائیے، نوافل کا شوق عنایت فرمائیے، رمضان کے روزے صحیح طرح رکھنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، رمضان کی باغ و بہار نصیب فرمائیے، رمضان کی تراویح نصیب فرمائیے، تہجد نصیب فرمائیے، رمضان کی دعائیں نصیب فرمائیے، اعتکاف کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، شب قدر ڈھونڈنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے۔ یا اللہ ہمیں ہر کار خیر کو کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، اور ہر شر اور برائی اور گناہ سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے۔ پوری امت کے حال پر رحم فرمائیے، بیماروں کو شفا عطا فرمائیے، مرحومین کی مغفرت فرمائیے، مقروضین کو قرض سے چھٹکارا عطا فرمائیے، بے اولادوں کو نیک صالح اولاد عطا فرمائیے، شادیوں میں رکاوٹیں دور کر کے اچھے رشتے عطا فرمائیے، گھروں میں جھگڑے ختم کر کے محبتیں عنایت فرمائیے، سب کی ساری ضرورتیں پوری فرمائیے۔ پروردگار عالم باربیڈوز والوں پر خصوصی رحم فرمائیے، یہاں ان کی نسلوں کی دین اور ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے، تقوی اور پرہیزگاری نصیب فرمائیے، ان کے لائیولیہوڈ اور معیشت کی حفاظت فرمائیے، مسلمانوں کے مکان دکان بزنس کی حفاظت فرمائیے، برکت والا رزق حلال نصیب فرمائیے، حرام کمائی سے بچائیے، حرام خوری اور حرام دھندوں سے بچائیے۔ اللہ آفت مصیبت بلا سے حفاظت فرمائیے، یا اللہ ہر طرح سے حفاظت فرمائیے، یا اللہ جوان نسلوں کی دین اور ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے، فسق و فجور سے بچائیے، کفر اور شرک اور ارتداد سے حفاظت فرمائیے، مساجد کو فل فرمائیے، یا اللہ ان معصوم بچوں پر رحم فرمائیے، یا اللہ ان کو بہترین ایجوکیشن عطا فرمائیے، ان کو بہترین حافظ بنائیے، عالم بنائیے، دین کا داعی اور خادم بنائیے، یا اللہ ماں باپ کے لیے آنکھوں کی ٹھنڈک اور خوشی کا ذریعہ بنائیے۔ اللہ ان بچوں پر، بچیوں پر، گھروں میں جوان لڑکوں پر، لڑکیوں پر خصوصی رحم فرمائیے، اور ہر جگہ یا اللہ تقوی اور پرہیزگاری اور اخلاص اور للہیت پیدا فرمائیے۔ ہماری ٹوٹی پھوٹی دعائیں قبول فرمائیے۔ دوست احباب بڑی محبت سے بڑی دیر سے بیٹھے ہیں، ان کا بیٹھنا قبول فرمائیے، انہیں جزائے خیر عطا فرمائیے، ان کی دلوں میں جو بھی انفرادی حاجت اور پرسنل ضرورت ہے اس کو پورا فرمائیے۔ ہمارے اکابر مشائخ پر اپنی رحمتیں نازل فرمائیے، خاص طور پر ہمارے حضرت نور اللہ مرقدہ وبرد مضجعہ کی قبر مبارک پر کینیڈا میں اپنی خاص رحمتوں کی بارش برسائیے۔ آپ کے درجات اعلیٰ علیین، صدیقین، شہداء اور صالحین میں بلند سے بلند تر فرمائیے۔ اسی طرح دیگر مشائخ، شیخ یونس صاحب، حضرت پیر صاحب، شیخ نور اللہ مراقدہ، سبھی کی قبروں پر اپنی رحمتیں نازل فرمائیے۔ جو اکابر حیات ہیں حضرت مولانا بلال صاحب بالخصوص، ان کی زندگیوں میں برکتیں عطا فرمائیے۔ حضرت مولانا کا ٹرکی کا سفر آسان فرمائیے، قبول فرمائیے، قدم قدم پر دستگیری رہنمائی اور حفاظت فرمائیے، عافیت سے رکھیے اور عافیت سے واپس لائیے، ان کی علوم فیوز برکات سے ہم کو پورے عالم کو مستفید فرمائیے، ہمارے دیگر تمام اکابر کی حفاظت فرمائیے، مفتی احمد خان پوری صاحب کو شفا، صحت اور عافیت نصیب فرمائیے، اللہ مفتی تقی صاحب کی حفاظت فرمائیے، اللہ شیخ سیف الرحمان صاحب کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہمارے دیگر اساتذہ کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہم میں سے جن کے ماں باپ انتقال کر گئے ان کی قبروں کو جنت کا باغ بنا دیجیے، نور سے بھر دیجیے، مولانا سراج کے والدین کی مغفرت فرمائیے، درجات بلند فرمائیے، ڈاکٹر نگدی صاحب کی مغفرت فرمائیے، ان کے درجات بلند فرمائیے، جتنے بھی یہاں مرحومین ہو گئے، ماجی پٹیل صاحب ان کی مغفرت فرمائیے، سب کے درجے بلند فرمائیے۔ اے اللہ جن کے ماں باپ زندہ ہیں ان کی قدر کرنے، خدمت کرنے، دعائیں لینے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے۔ پروردگار عالم ہمارے بیوی بچوں کو نیک صالح اور آنکھوں کی ٹھنڈک بنائیے، ہماری اس مسجد کی حفاظت فرمائیے، بارپیڈوس کی اور دنیا بھر کی تمام مساجد کی حفاظت فرمائیے، تمام مدارس اور دارالعلوم اور مکاتب قرآنیہ اور اسلامک اسکول اور اسلامک چیریٹیز کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہماری ٹوٹی پھوٹی دعائیں سن لیجئے، ہم سب کو دنیا اور آخرت کی ہر خیر عطا فرمائیے، ہر شر سے بچائیے۔ ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم، صلی اللہم وسلم علی سیدنا محمد وآلہ وصحبہ اجمعین برحمتک یا ارحم۔